And I think it would have built trust in a US president as being neutral and as there to help, which I think was the aim. So I think all these little components really help overall. At this stage, it's been so febrile. I think people have to be very careful what they say, very careful about language, but all the direction seems to be going in a positive way towards rebuilding trust. And Micheál Martin, who I've mentioned already, as Taoiseach and Tánaiste there, and the government now, I think are sensitive to UNIS concerns and using us with a delicate touch.
We're just seeing pictures now of the President arriving at Family House to meet the Taoiseach. Photo opportunity for the gathered photographers there as the two men go inside for that meeting, after which the President will address both houses of Parliament. You're still with me, Dr. Etienne Tanan. And as you watch these pictures, how significant is it that the President will be addressing the Irish Parliament later on?
Very significant. I think, again, for a small country, to have such a long stay, and as you've said, only the fourth President to address the Oireachtas, I think it's hugely important. Irish diplomatic power has been very successful, and exerting soft power, and this is all part of it. It's part of building our reputation internationally. This is a sign of success, so it's broader than just Brexit. I think it's a key influence a small state such as Ireland has. So President Biden's visit affirms that, reaffirms it, affirms the relationship going into the future. I suppose we don't know who will win the next US election, but it's very important because our soft power is essential. It's been the driving force of much of our success. And apart from that, which is related to soft power, economic investment, economic relations with the US. So I think it seems symbolic, to a large extent it is symbolic, but it has a meaningful effect as well for a small state. I would say perhaps more so than for a state such as the UK, perhaps.
And why do you think that the soft power, as you describe it, has been so successful?
Yeah. I think this goes right back to nearly to the foundation of the state. That there was an awareness that Ireland was a small state. There was an awareness that early on Ireland had to assert its separate identity from the UK because we had been part of the Union. So there was a very, I suppose, well-devised strategy from early on, which was about emphasising values. Roy Montgomery, who's former ambassador in the Department of Foreign Affairs, has argued that sort of emphasis on values, positive values of peace and human rights, has been very useful. It was genuine, but it was also very useful strategically. I think as a small state, we're not going to make as many enemies as a large state, and I think there's an awareness of that. So the Irish government has punched above its weight over decades, but part of that is a humility as well, about being aware that it's a small state. Very highly trained diplomats, that they would be seen, if it's not insulting other departments, they would be seen as the cream of the crop in the civil service. So highly trained, highly skilled, strong institutional memory, and that goes probably right back. So I think they're all the factors really involved.
And you mentioned before the relationship and the importance of the relationship. We know that Leo Varadkar was in Washington to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, hosted by President Joe Biden. So it's very much a meeting of the familiar, and with Joe Biden being so very proud of his Irish roots, it's an easy connection to make.
Yeah, I think so. I think it helps very much that President Biden is clearly very proud, genuinely proud of his Irish identity. And I think the timing of this visit, just after St. Patrick's Day, obviously creates an even greater ease. And they've referred to the visit recently. The rugby player yesterday, Rob Carney, had been in Washington recently, all the government officials. So I think that's helped build that kind of camaraderie that's there anyway, and it's easier because of President Biden's identity.
It's just gone 2 o'clock. We are in Dublin.